And good evening and welcome to another edition of Kearney Live. I'm Jim Dickerson along with Lynn Broughton and Stacy Bratcher. Good to have you here on this Wednesday evening once again. If you're not familiar, it is hot outside. We're supposed to tell you to make sure you bring your pets in and also water your, it says your pets. Water your pets and keep your elderly people in track. I don't know what that means. Keep track of the elderly folks. Make sure you check on them.
There you go.
I think is what we're getting at there. So
water your neighbor's plants.
The water.
If they're gone.
If they're gone. I was like, wait a minute.
If they're gone. Sorry.
People walk outside and Stacy's watering your plants. Let me give you my address.
Yeah,
if you come over and
exactly.
grab mine, then I don't have to do it. But anyway, make sure you check on everybody. The good news is it was cloudy today in most of the area, so it didn't get quite as hot.
It rained at the chamber office.
Yeah, it rained up here. It did not rain at my house, so I missed out on that. But I'll be okay because I know that later today, Stacy is going to come by and water my plants.
That's my new side gig.
So I've got that going for me. I would give you some other news, but we really don't have any. I could tell you something. Brian's looking all weird, and we'll get to Brian in just a minute. I will tell you that there's construction on I-35.
Really?
You know why I can say that? Because it's been going on for 4 years. Brian, welcome to the program.
Thanks so much. Glad to be here.
It's good to see you. That's all you got?
That's all you want. You want a news story or what?
Let me throw this out to you this way. How was your 4th? What'd you do on the 4th?
What did we do on the 4th? We went to the movie on the 4th.
Oh.
When you say the movie,
Yes.
what movie did you see?
We saw the Indiana Jones movie.
Was it good? Because I've heard
was-
it was bad.
Depends on who you ask. I mean,
All right, I'm asking you. Was it good?
No, I didn't like it as
Are you an
much
Indy
as
fan?
the first one. What?
Was
Are you an Indiana Jones fan?
I kind of am an Indiana Jones fan, but these last couple weren't
been
that
pretty
great.
bad.
Yeah.
They weren't bad. They just weren't
Did you see it?
the same. Yeah.
Did you see this one?
Oh, you saw it?
Not with Brian.
We all know that because when Brian was at the movie, you were watering his plants.
That's right.
Right.
Did,
right,
I
I
mean, did
was.
you like it?
I liked it. It wasn't my favorite Indiana Jones movie, and I think I had too high of expectations of it,
Then
and
you
so I
walk
walked
in,
away a
yeah.
little disappointed. But it's always great to see Harrison Ford, and they brought back a few of the old characters.
did
and
they?
so yeah, it wasn't as good as the remake of Ghostbusters when they brought back characters and stuff
Right.
from that one. That one was fantastic.
See, I haven't
but
even
this one,
seen
it was
that yet.
good. It wasn't great. It was good.
See, and I hated to hear that because I've always liked Harrison Ford, and I didn't.
Yeah, I love
I
Harrison
hated
Ford.
to hear that people didn't like
do
the
well.
movie or it wasn't as good or whatever. And I did not see the new Ghostbusters movie yet because I'm cheap and I'm going to wait till it's free on some
That came
channel.
out years ago.
On some
though.
channel, did it?
Yeah.
It's probably you probably can't watch it now for free.
You
I'm going to
probably
get right
can.
on that. Actually, I completely forgot about it.
But the big box office smash that's a surprise is The Sound of Freedom.
Go see it.
Yeah, have you seen that?
Oh, I know the story though. I mean, I knew the story before I went and saw it because it took 5 years to get this movie to come out.
Right.
It's good.
With Jim
I
Caviezel.
have not
Yeah.
seen it yet.
It's
I'm
good.
anxious to
But
see
I-
it.
yeah.
It's selling out because we had to go like at 3 something
Yeah.
because they
We
were
haven't
selling
been able
out
to see it
all
because
over.
it's sold out.
Yeah.
So, all right, well,
Take a tissue.
have to go see that.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Well, didn't need to know that.
Makes you mad and take a tissue.
Awesome. Okay, well, there's your movie review
Yay.
on behalf of Siskel and Ebert, for those of you who remember them.
I do.
If I guess this would be a good time to talk to Lynn about things that are going on in the county.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. Residents just outside of Missouri City were at odds with the Clay County Sheriff's Office.
Ooh.
We'll take a look at this issue next on Kearney Live.
Stacy is upset.
There's something for everyone at the Kearney Enrichment Council. Spark Studios after-school programs at the old firehouse use STEAM-based activities to help kids learn, create, and find new hobbies and skills. The Enrichment Council supports our senior community with fun activities and necessary services at the Kearney Senior Center. All of Kearney comes out for our festivals, concerts, farmers markets, movies in the park, parades, and much more. The Kearney Enrichment Council, 106 South Jefferson Street in Kearney, 816-635-0566. Improve quality of life, find your place, build a better future in Kearney.
Clay County Sheriff Will Aiken announced he will search for another possible site. What they were doing, they were planning a training facility and shooting range that the sheriff's office, they're looking for a piece of land, basically is what they were doing. And they found a spot that is a plot of it was a closed landfill. Neighbors near that 63 area plot of land spoke out against the proposed location on Tuesday at Clay County's Planning and Zoning Commission's meetings. This news report from CMBC breaks down the issues. Watch this.
In this peaceful part of Clay County,
we like it all, everything about it.
Neil Wilkerson does not want shooting ranges on 63 acres near his home.
We moved out here in the country for what you hear right now, birds. You know, no noise.
But the Clay County Sheriff wants a $6.9 million training center here on this land, multiple ranges, and a place to practice tactics, all near a former landfill site neighbors don't want disturbed.
What am I worried about the most? Neck and neck, the toxins. I don't want to get cancer and die, and I don't want my family to, and I don't want my neighbors to.
Sheriff Will Aiken says any construction would not disrupt the landfill site.
When we go out there and we operate, it's only for a day. And it's going to be in a controlled environment where it's going to be monitored by several different agencies.
Neighbors are also concerned about the noise.
Quite frankly, if I owned property out there, I would probably oppose it as well. But as sheriff, I still have a responsibility to the people of Clay County to make sure that our employees are trained to the highest level possible.
It's not that we don't support the police. 100% we support the police. But there's better locations for this.
My apologies, that was KMBC. I don't know where C came from. I do apologize for that. James, this issue happens all the time where the government agency wants to use land that's going to disturb a private homeowner or landowner's privacy. Do both sides have a valid point in this case, and who should win, the county or the landowners?
Everybody should win.
That's an easy answer.
No, so actually, this is becoming more and more of a problem no matter what you do. Mm-hmm. So if you want to build something of size, even when they put the new Meta building over in Smithville, you couldn't put up a teepee in the middle of a field somewhere and someone not complain. It seems to be that's the new American way. We've got to complain. In this instance, though, you have a bunch of people that live in a rural area. They bought land in this rural area to live in a rural area and not be bothered and it be peaceful and all that. I get it. I think both sides are in a tough spot. I think what Sheriff Aiken has done, of course, for those of you who don't know, and the story can be found on the KPGZ news site, 1027carneymo.com, shameless plug there. But those of you who don't know, Sheriff Aiken has withdrawn the request for that site, and they're now actively searching for another site. But that said, it almost becomes a no-win situation for anybody because I don't think within the Clay County area or the area that Sheriff Aiken or the department could go, there's going to be a large enough area of land that won't bother somebody somehow. So when you talk about the noise from the shooting range, I've not seen the detailed how this facility would be built. I know some of the facilities when I went through the academy years ago, when we learned how to ride horses. No, that's not right. But the training facilities were much less than what they are now, but the training facilities are better, and therefore the training is better. So now they have full driving courses, the shooting ranges are better and they're more realistic, but that takes space, and it also, you know, even a driving range makes noise with the cars screeching around and all that. I don't know how you do it. It's almost a no-win situation. The thing about I'm not so worried, of course it doesn't matter now, the thing about it being on a landfill or a toxic site, there are more of those out there than you realize.
Yes.
There are tons of them.
Yep.
And they're all very well tightly controlled and governed. So you have the EPA that gets involved, you have these waste facility management companies that have to come in and do all this stuff. What do they call that? The Superfund issues that come up. Right. You have to do all that. That's not that uncommon. I know in the news story it made it sound like, you know, this is an unusual thing. Those are everywhere, and they're more common than you think.
So the question that was brought up when the man was being interviewed, he was talking about the toxins. So he is basically talking about them redigging that up, I guess. I guess that's what I'm...
That's what...
He's not saying the toxins from the facility. He's saying them building that facility. Correct. They're going to have to dig up that land where there's toxins in the ground.
Yeah,
already.
so a lot of those grounds, as long as they don't disturb it,
it's not
all is right.
Right.
But
okay.
Obviously, if you're going to build any kind of facility, you're probably going to disturb some land.
Most police training shooting ranges, I mean, there's indoor ranges, but I know the ones that my husband goes to are primarily outdoors.
Okay.
So there shouldn't be a whole lot of, I mean, again, don't know what the sheriff's department had planned, but there shouldn't be a whole lot of building and digging. When I first heard this without doing any research or hearing from the landowners, I loved the idea of repurposing a landfill, because what else are you going to put there? So I liked that. And then when I learned it was a 63-acre plot, well, shoot, if the gun range is somewhere in the middle there, that's a really big cushion. You're not going to hear a whole, I mean, you might hear some pops, but you're not going to hear as if you were standing right there.
Well, and they usually, when they build the berms up around the side and everything, so it's very well protected. Right. And I'm sure, again,
so I don't know.
I don't know where you could build it anywhere in the state where
unless it's an indoor facility.
Yeah, you could do it and then you're going to have to dig up and
you're going to get a lot more tax dollars.
Yeah, I have not, like I said, I have not seen the detailed. Like the blueprints of what they were going to do.
Right.
And what did they plan to do in the future? So you had everybody's talking about the firing range, but were you going to put a driving course? Were you going to put classrooms out there? Were you going to put a big facility where you teach self-defense and a gymnasium? Right. I don't know what the plan was, but I will say this.
To Sheriff Aiken for...
Listening.
I just love him. He listens. Mm-hmm. He doesn't just bully his way through things. He listens to people. He considers all of the sides, and then he's rescinded it. And what leader do you know nowadays that does that?
Right, I agree.
Well, it's not only that, but I like the way that he's forward-looking. He's trying to find a way to better train the officers that he has.
That's right.
I don't know what his plan is down the road. Maybe he's planning on bringing other agencies in.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's trying to find a way to better train the officers they have and to have better facilities to do it.
Well, to that point, if he has a nice big facility, then he can lease it to other departments and it becomes a revenue generator so that maybe he can do other things or pay his officers even more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know what other areas are available. And I certainly don't know, because it used to be easier when everything wasn't as populated. But everything around here now is populated, and to get into an area that has enough land to do it, and B, enough land where you're not going to interfere with someone else is going to be a tough road.
Well, I guess if the Royal Stadium doesn't go in North Kansas City, that could be a potential spot.
There's 100 acres down there. No?
Just a thought.
No shooting down there.
No. Somebody's going to hear that. Could you imagine? That's so.
I'm for it. I mean, now granted, I'm not a rural. I've never lived. Well, I grew up in the country in Ohio, but that wouldn't have affected me if they were out there, because I think it's kind of a safe thing to me. I mean, I think I'd have liked seeing them out there.
Having cops coming out.
But didn't he say like an hour? Sometimes they only. Well, I guess shooting they'd probably only spend an hour there, depending on what. Like you said, the rest of their plan would be.
That to me, though, I mean, that's now. Okay, so let's say they build a top-notch, first-class facility and everybody wants to go there.
Right.
Well, then they're going to expand their hours. So I'm not so hung up on that. I don't know, again, to Stacy's point, I don't know where they were going to put it, what the sound is.
Right.
I do know that, there were years ago, now this is a drag strip, but I grew up out south. There was a drag strip that was miles away. I mean, miles away. But on certain days, you could hear it. And so I understand what these residents are saying. Yeah, you're going to hear it. I mean, but again,
interesting.
Stay tuned, right?
Yeah, I don't know where he's going to find. He'll find something.
Right.
He will.
He's a smart guy.
He's resourceful.
But he's probably going to, maybe when he finds it, he'll want to text somebody.
Well, he better not do it while he's driving, because texting and driving is soon going to be against the law here in Missouri. We're going to talk about it coming up next, right here on Kearney Live.
Migraine headaches, the throbbing in your temples, the pounding in your forehead, extreme sensitivity to light and sound. Your neck feels so tight it could snap off. Oh, the debilitating pain.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Strathman with Kearney Family Chiropractic Center, and I've been practicing chiropractic health in Kearney for over 22 years. When you come to see me, I identify what's wrong and determine if I can help you. If I can, I create your personalized plan for relief.
When you have pain, you can make an appointment by calling 816-628-6738, or you can visit the office at 301 South Platte Clay Way, Suite B in Kearney. Kearney Family Chiropractic Center. Heal yourself.
Simplify your banking. Simplify your life. It's easy with Kearney Trust Company. Kearney Trust goes beyond convenient locations and good customer care to offer banking services that make managing your finances quicker and easier than ever before. Online, bill pay, e-statements, and mobile banking are available to give you a positive banking experience so you can get back to your life and activities. Kearney Trust also provides capital to people and businesses so they can achieve their goals. Whether you know exactly what you want or just need someone to talk to about your dream, you can speak with them and work on that dream. Kearney Trust Company is your partner for success with 2 convenient locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. The phone is 816-628-6666. Kearney Trust Company. Banking you can trust. Member FDIC.
More reliable power means more of what you love. You expect your lights and appliances to turn on at the flip of a switch, and so does Platte Clay Electric Cooperative. That's why Platte Clay is working hard to make power more reliable in the Northland. We exist for one purpose: to empower communities and energize life with safe and reliable energy. To learn more about their plan to reduce outages across the Northland, visit www.pcec.coop/reliability. Platte Clay Electric Cooperative.
Welcome back to Kearney Live. A new law in Missouri aims to make the roads safe for everyone. The law prohibits texting while driving and restricts other cell phone use behind the wheel. Governor Mike Parson signed the law late last week. It requires hands-free phone use for drivers of all ages. It also prohibits texting, recording videos, and posting to social media while driving. The law goes into effect, pay attention, on August 28, but fines and penalties will not be given out until January 2025 to give the public time to learn about the new law. Check out this video.
It's just a first step on so much more I feel we need to be doing as a community.
Rachel Witt sees the issue firsthand as she walks the streets of South Grand daily.
Constantly when I see people run red lights, they're texting and driving. Half the time they don't even realize they just ran a red light.
As executive director of the Community Improvement District for the neighborhood, she was pleased to finally see legislation passed.
We need to make those baby steps to really get people thinking differently on how they drive.
But to make streets safer altogether, Witt believes more needs to be done.
Bringing back driver's ed, looking at our infrastructure of our roads, how our traffic signals are timed, how we look at road diets and how many lanes of traffic there are.
These are all things that Liz Kramer and Christy Holland are working on through the Community Mobility Committee. But not everyone's initial reaction was positive when the bill passed.
The first thing I thought was enforcement, because my community oftentimes are the scapegoat for other opportunities of enforcement.
According to the bill, people can't be pulled over just for holding their phone while driving. It's something that's added to their ticket if they're breaking other laws on the roads. And police won't write those tickets until 2025.
We have a lot of time for people to really adjust to this idea of, like, we're taking driving seriously in Missouri. Using a car is a dangerous thing to do.
Well, advocates hope this will lead to a cultural change on our streets.
We're really excited to see that long-term trajectory.
They won't quit the fight.
Okay, so let's discuss it, gentlemen.
Let's discuss.
Do you text and drive?
Nope.
What are your thoughts on this bill? Is it going to make us safer?
Yeah, well, I think it will. But the one thing I disagree with, and I disagreed with this when it was a seatbelt law. Remember originally when the seatbelt law came out that you couldn't be pulled over for not. Thank you.
88.
How does one remember that?
Because it was, I think it was September 28th of 1980. It was my birthday.
So you have to be stopped, right?
I thought you got a ticket or something.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah,
you have to be stopped.
You have to be stopped for something else, and then, to me, if the seatbelt, if the law is you have to be wearing your seatbelt, and I can see you're not wearing your seatbelt, then I don't understand why you couldn't stop somebody for that. There was an argument, I think, back then at the time, because all cars didn't have the shoulder, some of them just had the lap belt. I don't even know that. I mean, there's cars out there with them, I'm sure, but the same thing with texting. If you're a policeman officer and you see someone driving down the street, which we've all seen, and they're doing this number, and then they go, and then they go right back to it.
You know when you're behind them.
Yeah, because they're weaving off the road.
They're weaving.
I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to pull them over for that. That part of the law I don't like. The rest of it, yes, I think. And then I'll shut up.
No, you're good.
Lynn doesn't believe me. The other thing is, the good thing is a lot of the newer cars, and by newer, I'm talking 2000 or better, a lot of them have the text feature where you can talk and you don't even have to look at your phone to do it. And you don't have that.
I don't have that in my car. I do have, it's Bluetooth, so I can.
Right, you can do it.
I can do a hands-free phone call.
Right.
But I still have to pick up the phone to dial it. But if someone calls me, I can hit a button and talk to someone. But
well, in my car, I can just say call.
My husband's truck, we can do that.
Yeah, I can say call Stacy, and it'll go calling Stacy. But and then I got Brian. Brian, put the camera on you, Brian.
That was good.
That's a good one.
But I can also do the text, and I think more cars have that.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting because now, I guess in my work car, I should say, which is older, 2016, I'll talk into my phone instead of texting. If it's someone I really need to talk to, you know, I'll hit that button and let the audio do it. Then you got to look at it and say, I didn't say that. You know what I mean? You got to do that stuff too. But yeah, I am dumbfounded by, you know, the people driving down the road with it up by the steering wheel. And I pass people on 35 every day doing that. And I guess I'm floored with it said August is when it takes effect, but the penalties aren't going to take effect at 2025. Why is there
that to me is ridiculous
January
as well.
So you could get a
crazy.
ticket in September, October, but you're not going to pay a fine until January of 2025.
And there's no reason to
That's
give
the
a
only thing I
ticket
didn't
until-
understand.
I don't understand why I don't understand. Look, so you PR it so that everybody knows. You put out press
Right,
releases. It's
right.
on the news. It's on shows like this. And everybody knows it's coming. 2025? Good gravy. That's 2 years away.
Yeah, I was kind of like,
Yeah.
It
but
must have been some concession in the bill.
has to be.
Yeah.
I don't. I
To make it
Honestly, I
happen.
thought it was already illegal,
So
so
did
I'm
I.
surprised.
So did I, too.
Well, I do remember when I was and this was years ago. I mean, this was 6-7 years ago. I may be wrong on the state, but I was in Arizona. I think it was Arizona. And there was a city in Arizona. I don't think it was a state law. I think it was a county deal. Everybody knew, and they would tell you when I think that we were at the rental car place. They said, "Do not have your phone up because you will get stopped." I mean, everybody knew.
Yeah.
The same thing could apply here. Look, it is almost as bad as driving drunk when you're buried in your
Right.
phone. And the thing, people get all into reading, and then they lose complete track where they are, and then they rear end people, run off the road. We've had all sorts of accidents. I do not agree. So there's two things now I don't agree with.
Only two?
So far,
Only two.
keep reading. The fact that you can't get pulled over for it, I think you should.
I agree.
And the fines don't start till 2025. I think they should start the day the
That's
law
when you're
goes
going to
into
feel
effect.
it. When you feel it is when
Right.
you get that fine right away. To
Right.
me, I mean,
Yeah.
Well, what's the point of
What
giving
better way
somebody
to
a
get the
ticket?
word out?
Right.
What's the point of giving somebody a ticket if there's no fine? We're wasting paper. We're killing trees.
Well, no officer's going to give a ticket that's not going to do anything.
So you're going to be talking to somebody, and where this would come up is, okay, sir or ma'am, see these 5 cars that you hit? Now, that's illegal. Now, we're not going to give you a ticket or anything, but it's illegal. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
So
well, I guess like the swerving thing, say your husband's following somebody and they're swerving, well, you
Yeah.
think they're drinking, right?
Right.
And really they're just looking at their phone. So when they pull them over and they say, well, you're not drinking, but if that person pulls their phone down, I mean, that's just like the seatbelt law is when the person, when a policeman would pull you over and then you're putting it on.
Right.
And the guy says, I saw you putting it on.
Yeah.
Right, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Right?
But you still have, I mean, if you want to be, and they do have the in-car cameras, which helps a lot now. But if you want to write them a ticket for careless driving by weaving or not, or whatever the case may be, but the whole point of the law, I would think, is deterrence. You want to deter people from doing it so they don't cause wrecks. So the only way to do that is enforcement. And I've always, if you've watched the show, I've said this before. We could make driving so much safer.
Oh yeah.
But we don't want to do it because we're afraid that it might affect us. Here's an example. Do you speed when you drive? You don't have to answer.
Yes.
Hey, Brian, do you speed when you drive down the road?
No, absolutely not. I would never do that.
So, exactly. So Brian is a law-abiding citizen, but ask yourself, you don't have to say it out loud, Lynn Erd. Do you speed? So
when I'm going home from work.
I'll just say it, I do, because my husband's going to put it in the comments. So yes, I do.
Okay, but here's the deal. Everybody speeds. We all know it. Okay, get that out in the open. The reason you speed is because the chances of getting caught and the consequence of getting caught are less than the act of speeding, right? So if I get caught, I'm going to get a ticket, or in Stacy's case, I'm going to say, do you know who my husband is? Depending on where she is. If she's out in Overland Park, I don't think that's going to do her a lot of good.
The state trooper didn't care.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, awesome. But got Brian again. That's 2. If we get Brian to laugh one more time like that, we get a free set of steak knives. But the chance of getting caught and the penalty of it is not as big of the risk of just doing it. Now, if you know what all the speed limits are around here. If the speed limit is 50, what is it out on 35 out here? 50, it's probably 70, 65. Okay, let's use a side street.
70 right here.
If it's 35 on a
to
side,
Liberty.
No, it's 65.
who cares? Let's focus.
Because I go 80.
So yeah, it's only 10 over.
I-35 is 70 miles per hour.
Up till
I
35.
have Sheriff Aiken in this.
I'm just going to say that Stacy's attorney right now is probably going,
Stop
talking.
Stop talking.
Please stop talking. So let's use, what'd you say it is on
It's
35?
70.
It's 70.
Okay, so the speed limit's 70. So everybody thinks to themselves, well, I got to a pad of 75. I could probably push it to 80. So that's what happens. Now let me ask you this. If you knew the fine for getting caught, and there is no plea bargain, no questions asked, if the fine for getting caught is $1,000 per mile per hour over the speed limit, would you do it?
Nope.
No. Because now the penalty outweighs the risk of doing it. So if you're going 80 miles an hour, that's $10,000 fine.
Sure.
Everybody's driving right at the speed limit and probably a couple of clicks below.
Yes.
Yeah.
Point being, on all these laws, if we really, really wanted to put our minds to it, we could clamp down on a lot of stuff, but we don't do it. And why? Because the people who write the laws and everything else are thinking, yeah, but what if I got caught? You know?
Right.
So you have that. Next thing you know, you have a case that's going to the Supreme Court. And if that happens, you're going to have a Supreme Court decision. There were a couple of them that just came out. Let's talk about what people think about them next on Kearney Live.
Simplify your banking, simplify your life. It's easy with Kearney Trust Company. Kearney Trust goes beyond convenient locations and good customer care to offer banking services that make managing your finances quicker and easier than ever before. Online, bill pay, e-statements, and mobile banking are available to give you a positive banking experience so you can get back to your life and activities. Kearney Trust also provides capital to people and businesses so they can achieve their goals. Whether you know exactly what you want or just need someone to talk to about your dream, you can speak with them and work on that dream. Kearney Trust Company is your partner for success with 2 convenient locations in Kearney at 310 West 92 Highway and 701 Watson Drive in Price Chopper. The phone is 816-628-6666. Kearney Trust Company. Banking you can trust. Member FDIC.
Electric cooperatives are different. We have a sense of pride in our local community and support the people who live here. That's why Platte Clay Electric Cooperative supports local schools, takes an active role in economic development, and works hard to keep costs down for its members. We exist for one purpose, to empower communities and energize life with safe and reliable energy. To learn more about how Platte Clay Electric Cooperative is working to achieve that mission, visit www.pcec.coop. Platte Clay Electric Cooperative.
You may have noticed your shoulder hurting, or maybe a kink in your neck. The culprit may be looking right at you. Your phone. Think about how you use it. Does that pain feel familiar to you?
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Strathman with Kearney Family Chiropractic Center, and I've been practicing chiropractic health in Kearney for over 22 years. When you come to see me, I identify what's wrong and determine if I can help you. If I can, I create your personalized plan for relief.
When you have pain, you can make an appointment by calling 816-628-6738, or you can visit the office at 301 South Platte Clay Way, Suite B in Kearney. Kearney Family Chiropractic Center. Heal yourself.
And welcome back to Kearney Live. The United States Supreme Court just handed down 3 of the biggest decisions of this court session. One involved the $400 billion student loan program put forth by the Biden administration. The other had to deal with affirmative action within the schools. And a third involved a gay rights issue where a couple, I believe, was trying to have a website done or something to that effect.
Wedding.
I forget the exact details of that. Because we were talking during the break, there was also a issue with a bakery and the cake, and that was
Years
a totally
ago.
that was a few years ago. But odd that it came up again. But so the Supreme Court decisions, those decisions came out, and there's been a lot of controversy, I guess you'd say, about it. However, polling tells us that most Americans are actually in favor of these decisions. And Stacey, I think you had some statistics that talked about that.
Yeah, Newsweek published this. The Redfield and Wilton Strategies poll, which was carried out on behalf of Newsweek, asked eligible voters their views on the court's decisions in the 303 Creative versus, I don't know how you say that, Ellenis, and then also the Students for Fair Admission. The Redfield and Wilton Strategy surveys found that 51% of respondents said they supported the ruling of the 303 Creative, where the court ruled in favor of a Colorado woman who designs websites for weddings and wanted to post a notice on her website saying that because of her Christian beliefs, she wasn't willing to design websites for same-sex couples. I don't have the stats, do you have those up there, Brian? So, and then for the other one, it was also, I believe, 51%.
That one's for the Harvard College.
Yeah,
That's
for Harvard.
The affirmative action.
That's right. The affirmative action one, it's largely, when you add the strongly support and the support together, you've got 50%. So
was
I
my
can't do math.
understanding there would
I'm not
be no
supposed to do
math.
math. So yeah, the majority are in support of these decisions, but it has brought a lot of controversy and a lot of discussion.
Yeah, I was the interesting thing I thought is if you go back to the graphic, or if you don't have it, that's fine. The number in both of these cases that neither support or oppose, that's basically saying I really don't care. Right. I just don't care.
Or I don't know.
Yeah. So
but there's don't know. There's down there at the bottom.
There's a don't know at the bottom. So they're just like, I don't care. The interesting thing was the oppose or strongly oppose are only like 22%.
Total.
And like we talked about before, I don't care what you do. There's going to be that percentage that just they oppose everything. 2 things, and then I'll throw it to Lynn. Nerd.
Nerd. Oh, now you're a nerd.
Leonard. Number one is, as it relates to the issue with the web designer, I don't understand, and Stacey and I were talking about this a little before, I don't understand why you would want to engage in a business transaction with somebody who you know does not agree with something you're doing or doesn't want to do your project. I would just move on. I don't know why someone would force the issue that this got all the way to the Supreme Court. If I want somebody to design a website for me or bake a cake or whatever the case may be, and they don't like me, they don't like what I'm doing, the cake or event or whatever, I'd go find somebody who did. That to me just seems weird.
Because you're not going to get a quality product.
Right. So you're not interested in my project? I'm going to move on. I'm going to go find somebody who is. That to me is weird, and it almost sounds to me like you're picking a fight. You wanted a fight and you lost. The other thing is with the affirmative action deal through Harvard, the thing I have a real struggle with on this is the people who oppose it. My question to you is, what is it that you oppose? Because what it sounds to me like you're saying is, I can't get there on my own accord, so I need someone's help to put me ahead of other people. That's what I feel like I'm hearing. I know that may not be a popular thing to say, but it seems to me that you want the best people to be in any position, whether it's a job
regardless
or
of color, sex,
doesn't
creed,
matter.
any of that. The best
you want
people.
the best. And you want to encourage younger people to try to achieve being the best. In other words, you want younger people to try to be better. I want to improve myself.
Right.
If you just let people in just because, then there's no desire. And it's the old adage, if you didn't earn it, then you're not going to really try to achieve, and you're not going to be the best at it.
Well, and that's where the big debate is with the Supreme Court, right? Because it's the term limit deal. Now we're talking about possibly down the road term limits for the Supreme Court justices, because they're lifers once you get in. And that's why some people that don't really understand that need to pay attention when a Supreme Court justice either passes away or steps away or retires. You got to look at who your president is, and hopefully they bring someone in that is more liberal, more conservative. Well, right now we have a board. I mean, I think President Trump put in three.
Three.
I believe
So now that I think it's 4-3 right now.
And President Biden has done one.
I think right now, I think the board sits 4-3 more conservative. So you're going to get these outcomes, which is going to cause a debate because we all think we have rights, right? And I'm reading, I don't know the story, but I'm saying if you're looking at the web designers and you're going through and looking at all these, well, that person has this on here. I don't agree with that. So now you're gonna attack.
Yeah, but
like the student loan deal.
Here's the thing that I don't like about the 4-3 and the conservative and not. It should be about the law.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yes. And the people who are getting upset and they're saying, well, we need to stack the court. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because if you use your common sense, so what happens is if you have a liberal group, then they want to stack the court on their side. So what happens when the conservatives take over? Now you're going to stack it even higher. Before long, we're going to have 700 justices and no way to stop it, because you're always going to stack. Keep the number as it is. And the thing is, we need to focus, I say we, the Supreme Court, focus on the law. Read the law. Don't try, and I'm not going to get into it, but one of the justices got zinged for saying stuff that isn't accurate, isn't true. And the fact that they base their decision on data and information that's false, as a justice, I'm like, you should be above that. You should be basing on factual law. What does the law say? What does the Constitution say? Not what do I think. What does that say?
Or what's popular.
And yeah, it's the thing. We're going based on what's popular and then my favorite, if the decision comes out that you don't agree with, then we start saying, well, the court's trashed, the court's ruined, it's out of control. No, they went based on the law, which is what they're supposed to do.
Well, and that's like I said with the student loan thing. I mean, there's so much debating on that. I know we talked about that on here, because I look at it, I have a 31, 29, 27-year-old that have all went through college. I helped finance that. So now you got these kids that are in college now saying, free, I'll take it, pay for it, right? And so there's that debate, is like, why should we pay for someone's debt that they create going to school, even though it's, I mean, I had my 3 kids go through school. It's crazy what they have to pay for an education through the college system. You know, I think there's some things that need to be worked out there. But yeah, you're always going to have debate, like you said, and with the numbers that we looked at, you're going to have the ones that are for, against, and the ones that don't care, right? But you're always going to have, we're going to debate about everything.
And debate's good.
And
I don't have a problem with the debate. But I think
you have a problem with.
I have a problem with when things don't go my way.
Okay.
Then I'm going to throw a temper tantrum, and we need to change the court. Okay, no. If you want to change something, change the law. But you just don't change. It's like, if I don't get my way, I'm going to change the rules, or the rules don't apply, or we're going to do something different. If you don't like it, change the law.
Right.
But the law is what the decision is supposed to be based on, the law and the Constitution.
Isn't that what Biden has done now? I didn't hear his outcome, but he's saying he has another avenue.
See, and
okay, the Supreme Court said, no, you can't do this, but now he came out like the next day and said, well, I've got this other backdoor plan that can make it happen. So,
and that's what
I haven't heard that plan. So I don't know.
I'm not sure there is a plan.
I haven't heard the plan either, but yeah.
But you're absolutely right. I don't like the decision, therefore I'm going to come up with a workaround. And what are you telling younger people? If you don't like someone's decision, figure a workaround around it. So that's all I've said.
Well, the web designer one must be really interesting, because, now granted, I'm sorry, I didn't really research that, but I mean, to get all the way to the Supreme Court, that must have been pretty, I mean,
But that goes back to what Stacy and I were saying. If we'll use a web design, I'm going to have you design a website for my business. And you go, well, I don't like your business. I think that, well, then I'm going to go find someone else. Right. I'm not going to force the issue.
Well, for me on that one, I thought that business owners could choose who they served. I didn't know there was a rule or a law that said when you open a business, you have to allow everyone who wants to buy your widget to buy your widget. I mean, in Missouri, I know that the Missouri Chamber is all about, they boast that the businesses get to decide. So, we didn't want legislation that said with COVID, businesses, you have to do X, Y, and Z. No, the businesses get to decide. We didn't want to make legislation about other things that restricted businesses that you have to do this, because businesses get to decide. If it's a private entity, especially a small business like this one was, don't you get to decide who you're going to serve and when you're going to serve them? And what if you're going to go on vacation and someone comes in and wants them to do whatever while you're on vacation? Don't you have the right to turn them down, or do you have to not go on vacation?
I think there's a couple. Yeah, there's a couple of issues there. One is there are provisions where you can't discriminate based on race, creed, and all that. But at the same time, as a business owner, you're correct. You have to have some discretion, and there's different kinds of businesses. But as a small business owner, you're correct. What if I can't take that business because I've got 3 other projects?
Right.
And I can only handle 2. So there's all these different things. But again, it goes back to, for me, if I don't know. I'm going to use a website. If I'm going to have a website designed for my business and you don't like my business, or you're not fully engaged, I'm going to go somewhere else, because I want somebody who's engaged in my project.
Right.
Clearly these people weren't. I don't know that I would keep forcing the issue and try to drive it to the Supreme Court. To me, it almost seems like that's kind of what they were going for from the beginning. I don't know what what sparked the whole thing to make it go that far, but that's I want a business that's engaged in my project, whatever it is.
Right.
Wedding cake.
Yeah, who has a vision for what I'm trying to accomplish.
Correct. Yeah, it's
so. I don't know. I think more and more people though people are getting tired of all this. You're starting to see it, and I think the big number there is not only the people who agree, it's the number of people who don't care. I think they're just tired. They're like, whatever. I'm tired of hearing all this stuff, which is why, too, I think we've talked about it before, your news ratings are in the tank. Nobody's watching the news anymore because they just don't care. They're tired of hearing about it, and they'd rather watch. Brian may know this. What's the most popular thing on TV right now? Because I saw this came out.
Mainstream TV or
just anywhere.
Streaming,
because people
cable.
used to always say they watch the news. I always watch the news. Now what do they say? I watch the weather.
Yeah.
But now you can go online and look at the weather anytime, so that's going away. And a new statistic came out, I think it was today, more people watch YouTube and Netflix than they watch free TV.
Wow.
And that is a complete reversal. So if you're watching YouTube, you're picking what you want to watch. You're not watching what's thrust at you. And a lot of people, there was a study that said of the main network stations, ABC, CBS, NBC, the majority of people that watch those stations only watch during something like the All-Star game or some special thing.
Right.
They don't watch TV. If you grew up in the 80s and you watched Cheers and all that, Seinfeld and those Friends or whatever, that was the thing, and that is no more. Stay with us. Final thoughts are coming up next.
Explore a place to visit. Explore knowledge. Explore fun. Explore relaxation. Explore adventure. Explore a hometown. Explore Kearney, Missouri.
And welcome back to Kearney Live, and it's time for our final thoughts. Leonard.
Just a reminder, today is the last day to register to make sure you can vote on the upcoming elections that are happening just, I believe, in August. So make sure you go on the Clay County Board of Elections website, and also, I think, probably just the Missouri government. Am I right? Or was does anyone know?
About what?
Like, is there just a website that you can check if you're eligible to vote?
Registered to vote?
Just through Missouri.gov, probably. You can check.
I don't know.
So I know I butchered that. But I mean, but I know you go to the Clay County Board of Elections,
yes.
Basically for Clay County. Today is the last day to register.
You might be able to check there.
Make sure you do that today. I think you can check it there.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive.
So. I like that. Don't forget to do this. I don't know how you do it, but good luck.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I'll let Stacy pick it up from there. Stacy?
Well, while you're on your computer checking to see if you're registered to vote, then please go to the Kearney Chamber Facebook page, Kearney Mo Chamber, and we have a survey there that we would love to have your response to. It's all of 5 questions, and all we're asking is, what kind of products would you like to have sold here in Kearney, and what kind of businesses do you think would be great to add to our already wonderful base of businesses? So 5 simple questions, take you all of 2 minutes. It's on our social media pages. On Facebook, it's pinned to the top. Kearney Mo Chamber, go check it out. Tell us what you think.
Outstanding. For those of you who like bull riding, it's bull riding time. Better in the Saddle is hosting another bull ride out at Jesse James Park. It's July 28th, 29th. And for those of you who are interested, the evenings start with mutton busting at 6:30 p.m. for young kids. If you haven't seen that before, that is worth its price for admission. Sign-ups for that begin at 6 p.m. at the announcer stand. The cost is $10. For the older and braver cowboys, there's a mini bull riding and barrel racing. And after that, the professional bull riders come in at 7:30 p.m. The gates open at 5 on Friday and Saturday. Tickets are $10. Kids 6 and under get in free. If you have not seen mutton busting, you need to get out there, if for no other reason that. But it's a great event. And then it goes to the Better in the Saddle folks.
That's right, which is a local nonprofit.
Yes. Yeah. So excellent. Get out there July 28th, 29th. Thanks for joining us on Kearney Live. We'll be seeing you next week. Join us every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock on 11. Dang it. 11 o'clock on Saturday. We'll see you next week on Kearney Live.